Stay tuned for Airgun Detectives.
Welcome to another special edition of Airgun Detectives. I'm your host, JC, and today our 1911 series continues. Today we get to take the mystery out of the Colt Defender. This one's put out by Umarex, and this one has been out for actually years. But before we get into that, do me a favor, if you hadn't already, hit that subscribe button down there in the corner. It doesn't cost you anything. It's absolutely free, but it really helps support the channel. Also, check out my website at www.airgundetectives.com. On that site, I've got t-shirts. Yes, this is our 1911 t-shirt. Kind of goes along with the series. I said, hey, from now on, I'm going to start wearing the 1911 t-shirts during the reviews of the 1911s. Anyway, check those out. I've got some hats. I also have my Generation 2 bipod, so check out the website when you have a chance. All right, let's get back to the gun on hand here. This is the Colt Defender. This is actually, as I said, it's put out by Umarex. It doesn't quite look like this out of the, I should say box, but it actually comes in a clamshell. It looks more like this. Check that out. That's how it comes stock. What I did is, for years, I carried a para ordnance, a para carry 45, which is a very compact 45. It's about this size, and I kind of wanted to replicate that. So I kind of made this look more like the para. So just a little bit of elbow grease. If you'll notice, the rear hammer is gone off it. I took that off. I also added dots to the rear sight. It doesn't come with dots. The rear sight's just black. It does come with a dot in the front sight, however. And then I gave it the two-tone finish just to kind of change it up a little bit. But I wanted it kind of similar to that gun, just for number one, I practice with it, and then number two, I just want it to look really cool, to be honest with you. So this is the Colt Defender, which is a compact version of the 1911. This one takes a 12-gram CO2, and it shoots .177 caliber steel BBs. The magazine is built in. It's got a little button here. You just push this little button right here, and this slides back. And you can see your CO2 goes in this side, and we rotate it around. It has a built-in magazine right here. You just take this slide down, you slide this down here, you fill the BBs into that opening. It feels really easy. And then you simply close this back up, and you're ready to go. So it holds your CO2. It's got an internal magazine. The gun's all metal. It's actually pretty hefty. It weighs over 1.5 pounds. It's got a double action only trigger. The overall length of it is 6 3/4, so it is definitely compact, and you have about a 4-inch barrel on it. They advertise it shooting about 410 feet per second. And if you'll notice, it's a little unusual of how this cycles the BBs. Watch the barrel here. So as you pull the trigger, the barrel, see how it protrudes right there? It protrudes. What's happening is that barrel is actually coming out of the way, and a BB is coming up, and then the barrel comes back, it goes over the BB, and it snaps back and hits the valve, and then the BB comes out. Not overly a complicated system, but pretty dependable. Like I said, I've had this for years, and I know this gun has been around for years, and it's still selling. So it's pretty affordable. It's right around that $60 mark. So anyway, the key is, let's go see how this performs. Let's go have some fun with it, and then we'll come back and talk about it. So stay tuned for the next segment. All right, let's test the Colt Defender over the Crony, see what type of velocity we're going to get. I'm just shooting basic 5.1 zinc BBs, just the basic 5.1 grain zinc BBs. But let's just shoot 5 shots, see how it averages out. All right, shot number 1. 413. Shot number 2. 411. Shot number 3. 409. Shot number 4. 410, and one more. 411. Not too shabby. Anyway, so you see what your average velocity is. And it's a pretty quiet gun too, for the most part. It really is. Totally backyard friendly. All right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, let's test out our Colt Defender for some accuracy. We're going to go ahead and use our 8-inch splatterburst targets once again. These really define our impact points. We like that. I'll give you guys a link down below for them. Anyway, we're also going to be shooting just a 5.1 zinc BB. It's your basic zinc BB. I like those, as I said before. They land in the pool, they don't rust as fast, that's for sure. Anyway, we're our usual CO2 pistol distance. We're about 32 feet, 10 yards. Go ahead and take a quick look. Now we'll just shoot 5 shots, and I'm just going to aim dead center, and wherever this groups, it groups. All right. Not too shabby. For a little short barrel pistol like this, that's not bad at all. So that's our 5-shot group. We had one little bit flyer. I usually will get more. This is actually probably one of the better groups I've seen on camera. Actually, we got lucky here. But not too shabby. Let's move on to the next segment. Let's test out our Colt Defender for trigger weight. It's a little heavier trigger, but I can tell you, personal experience, it's very controllable. It's totally a controllable trigger. So we've got our trusty Lyman trigger gauge. Let's just see how this pull weight is. All right, 7 pounds. 7-pound trigger. Yeah, that feels about right. But again, I'll tell you, it's very controllable. All right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, let's do a little plinking with our Colt Defender. This little gun's actually a lot of fun. But we're usual 32 feet, 10 meters, roughly around there. Go ahead, check it out. All right, we're going to shoot, obviously I set up some smaller targets and what have you. We're going to do our best. We'll start at the bottom row, work our way across the top, see how well we do. All right. All right, now a little shotgun shell. I'd say this did pretty good. Again, with this short little barrel from our 32 feet, 10 meters, not too shabby. All right, let's move on to the next segment. We'll wrap this up. All right, let's wrap this up with our conclusion. How did our Colt Defender do? I'd say it did pretty good. It really did. Because let's think about it. The gun cost around 60 bucks. So let's talk about the negatives. I like to talk negatives, then we'll get to the positives. So negatives on it, fixed sights. I wish they were adjustable. This is all just for looks. It looks like there's an adjustment screw on here. There's not. Also, slide release. This is not a blowback. It's fixed, but so this is what, it's all just on there for cosmetic reasons. It looks good, however. I don't overly love how the barrel comes out when you pull the trigger, but it's just part of the process here. And I am being picky here. The trigger's a bit heavy. Like I said, I tested it at 7 pounds. However, I'm going to tell you, it is smooth and it is controllable. It's definitely controllable. But it is a heavy trigger. You just got to keep that in mind. You do, however, get used to it. But again, it's a $60 gun. So let's talk about the positives. What are you getting for 60 bucks? You're getting an all-metal gun. Something that you can customize like I did here, because it is metal. It's dependable. This thing's been around for years. They haven't changed the design because if it works, then don't try to fix it. Leave it alone, and they did with this one. So again, very dependable. Good velocity. You're looking at 400 plus feet per second. You're getting 50, 60 shots per fill. Just kind of depends on your temperature, because as you know, CO2 is like the warmer weather. But you are getting a decent amount of shots, so it's pretty frugal on air. The gun is affordable. It's around, like I said, 60 bucks. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun to shoot. And, you know, it doesn't have the dropout magazine, but it's very convenient. You have everything right here ready to go. You drop your CO2 in. It's really easy to load. So you just load it and go shoot it. It's pretty simple as far as that goes. It does feel good in the hand. I said that before. It's got some heft to it. And by the way, the safety on this, it's not your typical safety. The actual safety on this is this button safety right here on the side. You can see that. And it disengages the trigger. So there's your safety right there on the side. It does have a rail on the bottom, a short rail. So if you want to put a little laser or a compact flashlight or something like that, you could put that on the bottom. And again, it shot with good velocity. You saw what we did, and fairly decent accuracy as well. So we got both out of this one. So you can't beat that, especially for something with a 4-inch barrel. So overall, gun's really fun. I would highly recommend you add this to your collection. What would I give it overall? Solid 4 stars. Solid 4 stars. So like I said, Umarex has been putting this out for years. It works really well. They're still selling it. It's still pretty popular. So if you're into the 1911s, kind of nice to add a compact version to that collection. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Airgun Detectives. Don't forget, this is where we take the mystery out of the air gun. Until next time, I hope you're getting a lot of shooting in. I hope you and your family are doing well. So take care and God bless.